Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
We begin at 6 with a very active WRAL weather alert day. Right now, there is a tornado watch in effect for most of our viewing area until 8. Here's a look at some of the storm damage in Garner on Timber Drive after a possible tornado moved right through. You can see a big tree through that house. We're also seeing damage on Springview Trail, where a tree was uprooted and knocked over. And then on Spring Drive near Garner Magnet High School, several trees came down on top of power lines. Good evening and thanks for being with us at 6. I'm Julian Grace. Well, at its height, there were around 3,000 power outages in Durham as a result of those storms that you just saw right there. WRAL was first on the air when storms ramped up and that initial tornado warning was issued. Since then, our crews have been out in the community speaking with those impacted. WRAL's Carly Haynes is out live tonight in Garner. We'll check in with her in just a moment. But first, meteorologist Mike Mays joins us in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And Mike, we had another tornado warning issued this afternoon in Warren, Halifax, and also Franklin counties.
Yeah, and we had a little bit of damage up near Littleton, some wind damage, but the biggest damage was over in the Garner area. Now, we were on the air when the tornado warning was issued, and we have products that show rotation. And from the evidence that we have, we believe it was a tornado that touched down. I wanted to point out, there's Garner, there's Highway 70, this is Timber Drive, and this is Woodland Road. And that yellow area you see here, you look at the legend, that's extreme rotation, indicating where we're seeing that rotation of a possible tornado. Even further evidence suggests that it was a tornado when you look at the velocities. The red area are raindrops moving away from the radar site, which is in Clayton. This is green, raindrops moving toward the radar site. So this is where the rotation is. So when we were on the air with Eric Miller earlier this afternoon at Timber Drive and Woodland Drive, that's where a lot of damage was seen. So a tornado likely, the shear that's showing up near 100 miles per hour. So that could be an EF0, maybe an EF1 tornado. The Weather Service will be doing an assessment, taking a look at the damage to consider whether that was a tornado. And from our evidence, we believe it was a tornado that moved on by. And looking at the rotation tracker, just a mosaic of all the rotation detectors that showed up. And you can see around the Garner area, all the yellow and red suggesting that was where the rotation was. That's where there was damage that was seen, and the rotation made its way all the way up into Franklin County, where tornado warnings were consistent and ongoing. As of now, it looks like the threat is over. We're not seeing any severe weather, not seeing any lightning, but showers are moving through the area. And if you haven't seen rain yet, there is so much more rain on the way. We see it across southern Virginia and our northern counties. We see it moving through the Sandhills, southern Wake County. And as I expand the view off to the west, there's more rain here that has to come through with our front, even a changeover up to snow up toward the mountains. So futurecast starting at 6 o'clock tonight, we see the rain really begins to fill back in after the front passes. At 9 o'clock, there's the front. Once it clears your community, the winds will switch directions coming in from the northwest. They will kick up, perhaps gusting 30 to 35, maybe even 45 miles per hour in some locations. By 11 o'clock, we're still seeing widespread rain. And notice the potential for a changeover in our northwestern counties to some wet snowflakes. That's certainly a possibility. And when you wake up in the morning, it should all be done, and we'll have a cooler day. Coming up in less than 15 minutes, Anthony Baglione will be in showing us what we can expect for the day tomorrow. Julian.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Let's get to some of that damage in Garner right here. Right now, people who live on Springview Trail near Garner High School are cleaning up after a possible tornado. Just take a look at some of the destruction that was left behind. Several snapped trees, fences torn down, and homes damaged. WRAL's Eric Miller was in Garner and spoke with some of those impacted.
You know, I just want to be careful.
William Shaw says all this damage happened just seconds after the alert hit his phone.
As soon as I got the notification, I see it coming towards my house.
Whirling winds and punishing rain.
You can just hear it. It's like, you can just hear it. So I told my mama, I said, go in the bathroom because she is sick. She's on oxygen. I told her, go in the bathroom, take shelter. And as soon as I did that, everything started hitting the house.
The worst was over in seconds. Shaw then stepped outside to find cars nearly crushed.
This literally holding up by nothing but that box truck.
And a neighborhood permanently changed.
You can just see how bad it hit my neighbors.
At least 8 houses and sheds were damaged along Buckhorn Road, Old Buckhorn Road, and Ford Gates Drive. Some nearly split in half.
I would say coming out and seeing it is a terrible feeling.
Ivory and Ivan Cunningham live right next door and made it through unscathed.
But then once you actually hear the debris and you look outside, it's just clear white. You can't see anything. It's like, oh, we're actually in the middle of a tornado.
There's
wires down over there, stoplights down, and limbs hanging.
Garner officials, including town council member Phil Matthews, toured the damage and are encouraging people to stay out of the area if they can.
And let the fire and rescue do their job.
Less than 2 hours after this storm, and people are already stepping in to clear up the damage. One text to a church women's group was all it took to bring out all of these people to cut down limbs and haul away the debris.
Tree took out the garden, my fence. This right here is where my laundry room is. A few limbs went through the ceiling.
Griffin Stanley just moved into the neighborhood in October. Trees damaged the side of his house and his car. But in the aftermath of this storm, he's not having to pick up the pieces alone. And for that, he's thankful.
It means a lot, honestly, just knowing, because people can always say stuff, but it's actions that speak louder than words. So knowing that I have all these people in the community here to help me really speaks volumes.
Eric Miller, WRAL News, Garner.
Just great to see that everyone is A-OK. Let's look at some more damage. Let's go to Carly Haynes right now. She joins us live from Springview Trail. Carly, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Julian, Duke Energy is behind us right now. Crews on scene told us that not everybody here has lost power, but crews have been here for several hours. And as we were driving around, most of the damage that we've seen has been to the left of Garner High School. A lot of uprooted trees, debris all over the road, and now the repairs begin.
I got an alert on my phone and turned on WRAL and saw there was a tornado warning.
Debris cleanup lasting for hours after a possible tornado swept through Garner in just seconds.
Less than a minute.
Gloria Smith wasn't home at the time the storm moved through. When she got back, she saw the large tree that had crashed onto her yard.
Now there's stuff from one side of the yard to the other side of the yard, so it's everywhere.
Her husband has cancer, and she has a broken leg. It's her friends and family coming to help clean up the damage that's getting her through.
Family members are so important because without them, nothing would get done.
As debris pierces through roofs and car windows, people in this neighborhood are grateful there were no injuries.
There's so many big trees here, like forests everywhere, so I'm so surprised that everyone's safe, thank God, but it's very scary, very scary.
And the town of Garner has confirmed that there are no injuries from this. Public Works will be coming back to this neighborhood tomorrow, but a lot of families are going to be having their holidays disrupted. Julian?
Just great to see once again everybody is okay, and we know crews will be working into the night. Thank you, Carly Haynes.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, viewer photos show us even more storm damage, of course in Garner, but also all across the triangle. Take a look. This home, a tree off to the side of it, uprooted, falls onto the home and through the roof. Now, vehicles also fell victim to the storm. This truck just stuck under that tree there, and you might notice a trend, damage from trees. This shot really just shows how powerful the storm was. All those roots coming up from the ground, a trail left behind, and that is just the start of it. We have many more photos up now on WRAL.com, and we encourage you to send us yours as well.
Yes, those pictures, keep bringing them on in. Thank you. Let's take a live look at RDU International right now. As of 6 o'clock tonight, more than 70 flights were delayed in and out of RDU due to the bad weather. That's according to Flight Aware. The National Weather Service says nearly 1.5 inches of rain has fallen so far at RDU today, breaking the daily rainfall record that was set back in 1992. So far, 2 flights have been canceled. Well, as the storms and the rain moved in this afternoon, an accident on I-440 West near the Six Forks and Glenwood exit slowed traffic. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see that gray car being towed away. Only one lane was closed while crews worked to clear the crash. 4 cars were involved. No one was injured. And take a look at this. Here's a photo showing a school bus with its hood knocked out of place in the parking lot at Garner High School. This is just blocks away from where the possible tornado touched down today. Wake County Schools confirms they do have a few small trees down in the area and some wind impacts. Their maintenance crews are on the scene working to clear debris before school tomorrow. All right, here's a good time for this. The WRAL News app is a useful tool to have on days like today when severe weather hits. You can check the radar anytime before you head out and about.